Hello everyone, it's Silk the Tarot Witch, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things I do not like about general tarot card readings. This is just my opinion on the subject, so if you agree or disagree, that's fine. But this is just from my experience as a tarot card reader and my experience as a tarot card reading viewer. I'm not going to just be talking about readers. So the first thing that is the top of my list, I mean, there are many things I could talk about with general readings that I do find a little problematic, but this is just a top 5. And the number one thing on there, the divine timing, the use of divine timing. Nothing irritates me more than someone saying divine timing in a reading. And I've actually followed other readers who said, like, I know you guys don't want to hear this, but divine timing this, divine timing that. They know, a lot of readers know that a lot of people don't want to hear it. And I do believe that everything happens for a reason, but that's literally everything. That's just kind of like obvious information. And I feel like it's pointless to really have in a reading. So what is divine timing exactly? It's basically the belief that everything in your life happens at exactly the right moment. And while I do believe things happen for a reason, I feel like a lot of people use divine timing when they really don't know what they're seeing in their readings. And it's okay to say, I don't know what this is trying to tell me. I don't understand what this is saying, because this is equivalent to the Lord works in mysterious ways type of mindset. Like, usually people say that when they don't know what's going on, they don't understand what's being presented in front of them. It is okay to say that tarot is not revealing this to me. Tarot doesn't want you to know this right now. It's okay to do that, but just saying, oh, it's all in divine timing, just trust in divine timing. And I understand, like, having your faith in the universe or whatever you believe in is perfectly fine, but like, a lot of people use divine timing as a way to just another fancy way to say, like, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at right now. So of course, everything, like I said, happens for a reason, but our choices do affect that, and tarot is showing certain things happening a certain way, whether you understand it or not. And I think some people say they don't understand what, or some people think they don't understand what they're seeing is because tarot could be a little confusing to them. They might not be as experienced. They might feel like they're too afraid to really tell the truth of what the cards are showing. This ties into another one of the things that I'm going to mention on this list. But yeah, it's okay to say, like, you don't know what you're seeing. And I follow, like, very few readers who actually will admit that they don't understand what universe is saying to them in the cards, or universe isn't trying to reveal what the answer is in the cards. I do that myself. I haven't had any so far on this channel at this point, but I'm not saying I would never will in the future. But I have had a few instances where I'm reading cards for mainly myself or someone else, and I straight up get the message, universe is like, you're not going to know this right now. You don't need to know this right now. So I will never ever intentionally say that you will get what you want, you will get this or that due to divine timing. So I know some readers say, like, you will get this once you let go of control of your life and surrender to the divine. I think that's a little bit different, but I'm just saying this is kind of linking to divine timing. It's actually unhealthy to have try to have too much control over your life, but like, at the same time, it's not easy for everyone to do that because everyone has a different background. So not really demanding, or highly suggesting, I guess, if you want to say that people just surrender to that, I don't think it's totally healthy either. I think balance is important. I think it's okay to have control over some things in your life that need to be controlled, because you got to control some things in your life. You can't just surrender everything to the divine, because you would just kind of be like lost, you don't have to surrender to that. Sometimes you can take control of your life. Like, say, for example, you want this new job. You can't just sit there and just do nothing. You know, you got to prepare for your interview. You got to make sure you know what you need to bring or what you need to say. There's some control over what you need to do in that situation. I know this is common sense for a lot of people, but some people really do just surrender everything and have no control over your life. It's okay to control some things in your life. I wanted to say that because I know a lot of readers make it seem like, and I know they're not directly saying this, all of them anyway, but it's okay to not surrender complete control to whatever you believe in, the divine, higher self, universe, whatever. It's okay. It's perfectly fine to have balance. Balance is really healthy, is really important. Now, there are some things you can't control, and those are the things I feel like you should surrender. For example, someone's not talking to you, you're in no contact, constantly trying to message them to get them to contact you would probably have the opposite effect. And I know there are so many no contact readings on YouTube that people are constantly just looking to try to figure out, is this person going to contact me? Are they going to contact me here, there, everywhere? And in some cases, when someone's in no contact with you, you can't control that outcome no matter what you do. And usually if you try to control that outcome, and it makes that person pull away even more, because it becomes from just controlling your own energy into trying to control someone else's energy. So I think in those circumstances, it's okay to surrender. But the whole divine timing as a way to just try to make it seem like you know what you're talking about and you actually don't know what the hell tarot is trying to reveal, that's a huge peeve of mine, and I really try to avoid using divine timing. And if I ever do, just saying, it's because of what I just talked about in this video. It's about things you cannot control. But yeah, typically as a whole, I really despise hearing anything about divine timing. I know a lot of people don't like hearing it, but this is just my reason why I don't really like that. Okay, moving on to the next one is, this is not every single reader, but this is a lot of what I hear. You need to heal yourself first before you can get A and B. You need to be healed, and you need to work on your own healing journey. Now, I'm not saying that healing is not very beneficial to getting a lot of things that you want, because when you're going through a lot internally, it's hard to think clearly. So healing does help. But the thing is, just because you're healing doesn't mean you don't deserve A and B, or that you shouldn't get it because you desire it. I still think you're able to get it. Now, if you're able to handle it, that's a different story. But not everyone's going to be 100% healed. And I hear many readings, and I really do try to steer away from readers who say this a lot, because it feels like indirect guilt that you're not healed enough, so you don't deserve this. I get this a lot with love readings versus other readings that I've listened to, that they're saying, oh, you can get this man if you want to, but you got to heal yourself first, and you can't get them, or you can't find love, or you can't have this or that unless you're completely healed. You're never going to be completely healed. So it's kind of like saying you're never going to be good enough to get this thing that you want, or this person that you want, or love that you want, or you feel like you deserve. Healing, sometimes you heal as you get that thing. Sometimes you'll get that thing and it wakes you up to something you need to heal within yourself. You don't have to be this perfect person spiritually, physically, or mentally to deserve those things that you need or want. There's nothing wrong with improving yourself. And if you are actually a very negative person and you recognize that, that's obviously something that you need to work on, but it doesn't mean that you don't deserve certain things. It doesn't say whether or not you can handle it, but things come to you whether you need or want them. They just come. So how you deal with it at this point in your life doesn't mean you're going to deal with it like that later in your life. If you want to check out my views on healing and relationships on my alternate channel, I will leave the link down below, and that's totally up to you. My alternate channel has random content. but this one is more focused on my spiritual side. My third one is viewers getting mad at readers when a reading does not resonate. And a lot of them will make really rude comments or dislike the video just because it doesn't resonate. And I do mention this in my readings, as well as other readers, that if something doesn't resonate, try a different reading or come back another day when you feel more drawn to it, because some people just pick random readings and do not use their intuition. Same thing with picking a reading and none of the card piles resonate with you. That's okay, because that means your message is not in that reading for the day. That's happened to me before. Well, where I would pick a reading and none of the decks that they have to pick from resonated with me. And I'm just like, okay, well, that means this is not my message for today. And if I ever try to force it, which I used to like a long time ago when I was new to everything, I found that the readings did not resonate with me. And I didn't blame the reader. It's because it just doesn't resonate with me. And not every reader out there is going to resonate with you, especially for a general reading. Now, there are some readers out there who are very, very, very good with general readings, and it feels like a personal reading. And that reading will resonate with the person, but not all of them are going to do that. And you cannot blame the reader for that. You got to use your intuition. You got to listen to yourself and feel what you're drawn to. And not everything in a general reading is going to resonate because they're talking to a large audience. I mentioned this in my previous video when I was talking about the problem with the tarot community. And I really feel like it's sending negativity when that kind of thing happens. I know some people come to these readings really upset, and that does actually affect your intuition a bit because it's a little confused. Emotions are really powerful and they can be overwhelming, and that's why I recommend it even in my previous video about the tarot card community, that people take a deep breath and come back when they're more calm, because that'll give a more accurate reading. Sometimes people can still pick relevant piles to their situation when they're emotional, but it's more recommended that you take a step back and before you try to go for a reading, any type of reading, and pick a pile, because you're more dependent on your intuition when it comes to general tarot card readings online, and you're not in person with the reader, so you have to pick your own deck. Now, I know there's some readers who let people pick their own deck in person. I don't do that personally. I prefer to go based on my intuition. You're online and this person can't pick these cards for you, and they're reading for a lot of people, so you really can't get mad at the reader for that. Unless the reader is saying something really negative, I don't see a reason for that type of behavior. My fourth one is positivity only readings, where these people will not touch on anything negative in your life that needs work. That is something that was a peeve of mine. It's lower on my list, but it's still something that I know a lot of people don't want to touch into that because it makes them feel uncomfortable, but sometimes growth requires you to feel uncomfortable. I mean, that's just something that happens when you have a spiritual ascension. It's not a comfortable ride. Sometimes you gotta face things you don't want to face, a lot of trauma and a lot of shadow work and all that. So I have come across some readers that I could not resonate with because of the toxic positivity in their readings and in their comments. It's not just the readers, it's the viewers as well. A lot of people want to put like toxic positivity in that, and I'm just like, oh, I need to be happier. That's how I'll get what I want. Not necessarily. I mean, being happy feels great, but you can't feel happy all the time. It's just not the human nature. We feel all types of things. It's not just happiness and positivity and light all the time. Sometimes you gotta go through some inner work. And my issue with readings like this is that I notice, I'm not saying I hate the readers, but the issue with the positivity thing is that it wasn't reaching the message it needed to reach, versus another reader who touched on not only the positive aspects, but the alleged negative aspects of the issue I was dealing with. I found that I resonated more and was able to resolve more with the readers that would touch on things I needed to work on, or things in myself that I had not been paying attention to, that I needed to pay attention to, things that I needed to work on. And I've said multiple times, I've said it to other readers as well, universe definitely called me out with this reading. Thank you so much for sharing the message, because that's all tarot card readers are. They're messengers. I'm like, thank you for revealing this message. I would thank them like, yes, yes, yes. You know, tarot called me out, universe called me out. I know I need to work on this. I know I've been avoiding this and I need to face this. And other viewers have said the same thing. And I find those more helpful. But people who are positivity seekers, I do feel like I know people want more positivity in their life when they have nothing but negative. But sometimes, and I'm not talking about all cases, but sometimes in order to get more positivity in your life, you got to face your negativity. Because no matter what you do, you can't run away from your shadow self. Your shadow self is a part of you. Your shadow is a part of you. So no matter how much you run from it, your shadow is going to be there. It's attached to you. So especially when there's light, with all the light that's shining down on you, you still got that shadow right there. You still got to face it. So I didn't mean to put a metaphor into this, but yeah, I do enjoy metaphors. So that was one of the things that I see quite a bit. And usually if I see readers who are like this, I don't typically recommend them to other people, and I don't typically follow them. But however, like I mentioned in my previous my previous point, I don't go out of my way to dislike their videos or badmouth them or anything like that. It's just I just move on to the next reading, you know, and listen to something else. I just don't resonate with positivity only readers, love and light readers. I don't resonate with that. Okay, so the last one is kind of linked to the previous one I just mentioned. Using religion in readings for the readers and religious bashing from the viewers. So I put these two together because it's both related to religion. So with the readers that are religious, because not everybody's going to have the same belief as you are, and that's perfectly fine. I haven't met any reader that was like this so far on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure they exist somewhere. If you don't follow their religion, they warn against, you know, certain things that are going to happen to you or things like that. If that ever exists, and some of you may have encountered it, I don't know if you've encountered it or not, but if that exists, I'm totally against that, because that's guilt tripping, and that doesn't benefit anyone. Now, religious people doing readings, I don't have an issue with it. Like, I follow a couple of readers who do actually believe in the Christian God, but they also acknowledge that their audience is diverse and that not everyone believes what they believe. So sometimes they'll say things like, I believe in the angels and God, universe, but at the same time they acknowledge that not everyone believes in the same thing. And I try to do the same thing with my channel. I am non-religious, but I also acknowledge that there are other people who are religious that do come to my channel. And I've had religious people who come to my channel. They'll say amen or God bless or whatever, and that's their choice. You know, I'm not going to go in my comments and bash them because they don't believe what I believe. But I do feel like, personally, I do feel like if someone is doing readings that are heavily religious, where they're constantly using God and angels or whatever they believe in, I feel like they should have a disclaimer that they are mostly a Christian-centered channel, because when new people come in who don't follow their belief and they say something, for example, like, oh, you will get this and this if you make sure you pray to God and you listen to your angels, and you won't get this unless you pray, but you got to pray hard and pray to their God, basically their God. And someone who's non-religious and are just like, how do I resonate with that? Like, I don't worship this, so how do I resonate with that? And this could lead to people disliking the video, but I doubt many of the readers are too worried about that. Something that I feel like needs to have a disclaimer: if you are not doing readings for a general audience and you're doing it mostly for an audience of your religious group, which is perfectly fine, I feel like that should be mentioned in the readings or in their channel somewhere, saying, I follow this. My readings are mostly Christian, Catholic, Muslim, whatever based, and this is how I'm going to do my readings. And then after that, people can decide for themselves, do they want to listen to this or not. I do not have any religious affiliation in my reading, so I don't mention anything like that. So my reading is a general reading for all genders, all beliefs and backgrounds that do believe in tarot card readings. But I feel like that should be something that's a disclaimer, and if I was religious, I would make it a disclaimer in my channel and each of my readings. Another one is religious bashing in the comments, and this happens a lot with just any reader. It doesn't matter what their religious background is. I see a lot of people dropping Bible verses, and not like in a positive way, like they're dropping it to be very judgmental is mostly what I've seen. And there's like, turn away from your wicked ways and drop this Bible verse here. Oh, God doesn't like tarot card readings. They go out of their way to go to these readings, and they're projecting negative energy. What they're doing is, in their mind, something positive. They're going to make someone change because they're doing that, but they're actually not spreading positive energy. And why go to readers in the first place if you don't believe it? I don't understand that. Like, you're intentionally spreading negativity. This person who's doing a reading, or the people who are following it, made a conscious decision to go seek this out, and you're basically telling them that they're a sinner going to hell or whatever. And here's another thing that I didn't have on my list, but it's kind of related, and this is definitely a personal opinion, so if you don't agree with it, that's fine. I know with a lot of mainstream religions, monotheistic religion, that a lot of it is against witchcraft, tarot card readings, and I do wonder how that works for people who are Christian, knowing that it goes against their belief, or any other belief that's against witchcraft or tarot cards, or being a medium, psychic, or anything like that. I do wonder how that works out for them, if it's not like an inner conflict, because I have been raised Christian. I'm no longer, and as a former Christian, like trying to put like my religion and my spiritual beliefs together was like an internal conflict, an internal struggle, and an external struggle as well, because people look at you as a witch or just as something evil regardless of your religious belief, and they're saying like, you can't be this and that, you can't have two masters. Basically is a lot of the things I heard about that. You cannot serve two masters, and first master being that their God was the only master you should serve, and that if you use tarot cards or any type of divination, you are serving a different master, which is, according to those religions, as Satan or another evil force. But I felt like that was just something I wonder with a lot of readers, like how they dealt with that, because it's a struggle to try to do both, because you're kind of playing both sides in a way. That's how I feel personally. I feel like you're playing both sides, and I understand it's confusing, and it can bring a lot of internal confusion. Once I let go of religion, I felt like that confusion lifted, and I felt more of myself. But that's just my personal experience. I'm just curious how other people have dealt with that personally. But yeah, that's all I have for this. Thank you for listening to my video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and what your experience has been, or what do you like or dislike about the general readings that you see or hear or get on YouTube. Please keep the comments respectful and mature if possible. Thank you for watching.